Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Andrea. I'm the Knitting PT here on YouTube and on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram posting maker self-care reels and tips on ergonomics, posture, you name it. I'm an orthopedic physical therapist who combined my love for patient education and all things kind of orthopedics and muscle related together with my love for knitting and all kinds of fiber crafts. You can find links to everything down below, to my Patreon, my Ko-Fi, my shop where I sell wrist and hand care kits, massage balls, on-demand videos where you can learn how to strengthen and stretch various body parts or help with pain. And I also will link down below any makers, designers, yarn that I talk about today. And this here is my YouTube podcast where I'll talk about all things that I'm working on currently. So let's get started. All right, so first I've got finished objects to share with you, and I've got a lot of them. It's been, I think, close to 4 weeks since the last time I was here on YouTube, and I've gotten a lot of knitting done in the meantime. So if you all didn't know, I'm going to Rhinebeck it'll be just in a week. I'll be going to Rhinebeck in a week from today that I'm filming on this Friday. And I'll be going with my friends Aro and Megan, Aro of Aro Knits and Pearls and Megan of Kimchi & Co. And we have planned, I think 2 sweaters that we're all wearing. And the first one is this Merkel pullover. This is a pattern by Mary Gannon. She's Mary Made That, I think. Mary Made That on Instagram. And this is an all over sand stitch pattern. For this one, all 3 of us are matching. We made the same pattern and we're making it in the same yarn. This yarn is from Wildwood Fibers, and this is the colorway Pearlescent in the cashmere, the merino cashmere base. So it's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And it's beautiful. I'll stand up so you can see the whole thing. You see there's like slight variation of the kind of really light lilac color throughout. I really love it. It looks really great in this stitch detail. It's a raglan, top down raglan. You can see there's a twisted rib detail too. The sleeves has a little poof at the bottom. I will admit with this sweater, I let it soak for a little too long. What happened was I put it into wet block and then I kind of forgot about it, which happens to me a lot. And you would think I'd learned by now to set a timer. But there are some days where I'm just like, I'll remember. And this time I didn't. So it soaked for a long time. It might have soaked for a day. And so when I took it out, it was like really stretched out, like the fibers had completely relaxed. And I thought it'll be all right. So I laid it down to dry on my blocking mats, and I didn't really need to pin anything out because it was really loose. And by the time it dried, when it was like maybe like 3/4 of the way dried, I realized like, it's way too big. So then I threw it in the dryer to try to shrink it back up a little bit. And at first I threw it on air dry because, you know, heat is not great for fibers. It'll make them felt maybe potentially, especially for non-superwash. And I mean, this is a superwash yarn, but you know, you never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. So I threw it on air dry. It didn't really make a difference. So finally I put it on low heat and that did the trick. I think I did it on low heat for 10 minutes and I took it out every like 3 to 4 minutes to check on it, and it shrunk up beautifully. So that now, instead of being oversized, it fits perfectly. You can see that there's a little bit of like pilling. I don't know if you can see that here. See that here? There's a little bit of pilling and fuzz from the dryer. So I will like shave it off a little bit and before, just to make it look nicer. Yeah, but I'm super happy with this sweater. It's really comfortable. My only advice would be to maybe steam block it or soak it for only like 5 minutes. So this is the first sweater that we will be matching in. And yeah, I really love it. It's super comfy. The second sweater that we have all made together is the Seasons by Ozetta. So for Ozetta, she has a Seasons pullover. She has an oversized Seasons pullover, and then she has a Seasons cardigan. I think it's that way. Yeah, or maybe it's an oversized Seasons cardigan. I don't remember. One of them is oversized. And we all chose our own kind of Seasons to make. And I chose the Seasons pullover, mostly because I only had 5 skeins of yarn with the yarn I wanted to use. And looking at the yardage, this was the one that would fit it best. And I'm really glad I made that choice because I used all 5 skeins up. Like, I played yarn chicken and I kind of won. I'll explain. Yeah. So, ready? This is my Seasons pullover. The yarn for this is Wandering Flock in the colorway Montauk. And this is in their worsted base. You see it's a beautiful neutral off cream grayish base, and there's slight variegation throughout. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, of like pink and blue, and then little speckles with some rusty speckles in there too. Yeah. So let's talk over what I chose to do. So I chose to do a fold over collar, which maybe in retrospect, if I'd known that I would be running so short on yarn, maybe I wouldn't have done that. But I'm still glad I did, because the folded over collar does give it more structure, especially because this is in half fisherman's rib, which is kind of brioche-like, but not really brioche, but it is very stretchy, okay? So it is super stretchy. I made the same mistake with this one when it came to wet blocking, where I left it in for too long. But this time I only left it in the water for maybe 2 hours, but that was still too long. And again, it came out way too big. I had to throw in the dryer again to shrink it up, and luckily it worked too. But yeah, so I'll stand up so you can kind of see how it sits on me. It sits kind of about the same spot as a Merkel, a little bit. Yeah. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's not super oversized, and I don't know if I was really going for the oversized look. I was kind of going for just, you know, a few inches of positive. I think with this one, the size I chose, I should have had like 5 inches of positive ease, which I think when I put it on, I do. Yeah, so let's talk over what happened. So with this one, I knit the whole, what did I do? I knit the whole body first before I started on the sleeves, because I knew I wanted the body to be a certain length, and I thought maybe I won't run out of yarn that much, we'll see. So what happened was I knit the first sleeve to where I wanted it to be, and I knit the 3-inch cuff as the pattern stated here, and I did the decreases. But then when it came to the second sleeve, I ran out of yarn. So I had to do a 2-inch cuff instead, and I had to start the cuff earlier. So if I compare my sleeves, you'll see that they're different. I'll probably go back at some point and change it, like rip out the cuff, the longer cuff, and make it shorter, just because that part kind of bothers me a little bit. Let's line up this dragons here. Okay, so you can see here, this is the difference. And so you can see the sleeves are actually quite long. So I didn't need this sleeve to be that long, actually. But yeah, you can see that difference here. When I wear it, it's not like the second sleeve is too short or anything. Yeah, so I think what I will do, if I have time before Rhinebeck, I'll do that. But I need to rip out this cuff and just make it shorter, just because it actually does bother me that the cuffs are different lengths. They do like feel different on my arms. I think the sleeves themselves are fine. I don't think I want to, well, we'll see. Yeah, you know what? Let me throw it on real quick to show you kind of what it looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like on. You can see I have some positive ease, but it's not like, you know, it almost looks like it's zero ease, but it's actually not. It's just the nature of the fabric, but it's very comfortable. But you can see if my sleeves here, this is the shorter sleeve. You can see it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And this one is just longer, so. So I think I will. If I don't have time, I'll just cuff it, maybe. Maybe I'll cuff both so that it doesn't look that off. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should fix it. I think if I have time before Rhinebeck, I will try to fix it. If not, I will just let it be and just let it be. But you can see that this sleeve doesn't need to be this long. It would be nice if both were this long because it gives an extra cozy effect, but doesn't need to be that long. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened with my yarn management a little bit there. I don't really regret it. Like, the body length is exactly where I want it to be, so it's not like I would have made it shorter. Yeah, actually, I do quite like this sleeve length a lot. It's just, I don't have enough yarn to do that on this side. Yeah, and maybe if I'd known that, I think maybe if I'd done just not a folded over collar, I would have had enough yarn then to make the sleeve match. But yeah, oh well. You live and you learn, and this kind of what happens when you play yarn chicken. Yeah, but I think I just, even if I just shorten, if I just rip out an inch of this cuff and then bind it off, I think it'll be fine. It doesn't bother me too much that the sleeves themselves are different. It's really the way the cuff is sitting that I can feel that difference a little bit. Yeah, okay. Moving on. I'll just keep this on for now. Let me just fold this sweater. All right, the third finished object I have to show you is a test knit that I started last time. This is a test knit for Tori Yu, and this is the Skyline Pullover, and this is actually coming out very soon. I'm filming this on a Friday. I believe the pattern's dropping the next day on Saturday. So hopefully by the time you watch this, the pattern will be out or will be about to be out, depending on how quickly I can edit. So, ready? So, isn't it beautiful? It's got this beautiful ribbed detail. Let's see if I can show it. That goes from the saddle shoulder construction all the way down the side of the arm here. Yeah, so it's a saddle shoulder construction. It fits beautifully. I really love it. I wore it all day yesterday. It was so warm and soft. The yarn I used is a combination of Camellia Fiber Company, her colorway Love Camellia, which is kind of a light pink with these neon speckles, and I held it together with Ching Fibers Veronita, which is a cashmere lace weight base, and in the colorway Blush, which is a very light pink. And so held together, they made this fabric here. Yeah, I really love it. It fits beautifully. Highly recommend this pattern. It's very classy, very like workplace appropriate. You can dress it up or down really easily. I really love Tori's patterns a lot. I just find that she always does very classic silhouettes that are very easy to kind of dress up or down, timeless, classy. Those are kind of the thoughts that pop to my head when I think of Tori's designs. So yeah, so this pattern's going to drop soon. I highly recommend it. It's super fun. The ribbing detail down the shoulder and the arm is just that extra touch that makes it special. Yeah, so speaking of Tori, let's move on to works in progress. All right, so speaking of works in progress, I have fallen all the way off the test knit train, like all the way off, like tumbling in the grass, in the ground, or into the dust, whatever it is. It's okay. I'm really happy with the decisions I made though, like no regrets. So let me talk about first what I've been working on. So in the past week and a half, I have been furiously working on just one thing. I've been monogamously working on one project because I decided, wouldn't it be fun to have it ready for Rhinebeck? And you may tell me that I'm a little crazy, and I probably will answer, yes, I am. So last week, or maybe like 2 weeks ago at this point, Tori put out a test knit call for a Henley design that she is working on, and is striped. And when I saw it, I loved it, as I do with most of Tori's designs, or all of Tori's designs, and I signed up. And I had the perfect yarn in mind, and I cast it on immediately because I was really excited about it. And then as I was casting on and I was realizing how quickly it was working up, I thought, I think I had this done by Rhinebeck. And at this point, I will, and you'll see. And I am a little crazy, but it's okay. I mean, like, to be honest, so I don't usually knit this fast, especially when I have a part-time job, I have 2 kids, all this other stuff going on. But I had some circumstances where, like last week, I had to take one of our cars in for service, and I was at the service center for like 3 hours. So that was 3 hours of uninterrupted knitting time, which is great. And I think that was what really kickstarted me off and really gave me that boost to get through it. So, are you ready? I'm telling you, it's a showstopper. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. So this is I've been working on it so much, I don't even know the name of it. I think it's the Highline Henley. The Highline Henley. So the collar's not finished. The collar will have a Henley neckline with buttons. But look. So the pattern is written for either like 2 color stripes, or she's working on a 4 color stripe one too. And I chose to do a fade. So this fade, so let me tell you about the yarns. The gray is from Camellia Fiber Company, and this is in her Yak DK base. Okay, and this is colorway Earl Grey. So her Yak DK base, I don't have a ball band on me right now, but I'll put the details below of what it's comprised of. It's like merino, yak, and silk, I believe. Yeah, merino, yak, and silk. And the fade is from my friend Shannon, J'adore Fibers. She made this fade set, I think maybe during the summer. It's called the Under the Sea Fade Set, and it's 5 colors, as you can see here. Starting with this light blue, light icy blue, down into the bottom of this kind of turquoise blue. So there's 5 colors, and the fade, some parts of the fade going into each other are so subtle that I had to put stitch markers so I knew what repeat of the fade I was on, or else I had no idea. That is how good it is. Like, look how good that fade is. It is perfect. It is a true fade, which I think I've gone on a rant about fades on here before, but if I haven't, or if I have, forgive me. But you know, nowadays there's a lot of people who call things fades, but they're not really fades. They're just like meshing 2 colors together and like going from like pink to green. But a fade should really be fading from within one color family into a darker hue of it, is my opinion. And just look at that. This is a fade. Okay, y'all? This is a fade. Yeah, so I chose to do the fade. I told Tori I was super excited, and like I whizzed through this. So I cast this on of Wednesday of last week. Today is Friday, so today's day 10. Day 10. I am really close to finishing up the second sleeve. Like, I've literally got a few more rows in the cuff to do, and then I've just got the collar. So I will be done with this in less than 2 weeks. I think I could potentially finish it up tomorrow, which would mean I will have knit this entire sweater in 11 days. This is DK weight. I think this is a record for me, honestly. Yeah, and look at the sleeves too. Yeah, I super love this. It's gonna be amazing. And so Tori is gonna be at Rhinebeck at Wool & Folk, so I will see her there. This yarn is made with Commitment Fiber Company, Sylvia, and Shannon of J'adore Fibers. They're sharing a booth together at Wool & Folk, so I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could wear this to Wool & Folk and just be at their booth and like have them both of their yarns together on a sweater on me? Yeah. And I believe Shannon has a few of these fades left, so if you're going to Wool & Folk and you want a fade like this, just like this, I mean, you don't have to make the same pattern. If you do, I don't care. You can copy me if you want. It'll be at Wool & Folk. So you better go snag yourself one, because I know they're really labor intensive for her to make, so she doesn't plan to really offer it that much. Yeah, so get on that. And I should also say the base for this fade was on her Luminous DK base, which is 70% merino, 30% silk. So just overall, drapey as heck, this whole thing. Yeah. And let me show you the shoulder detail on this short rows. Look at this. Look. So this is like the shoulder on the top. So this is the back of the sweater, and this is the shoulder top. Look at the short rows and how they work with the stripes. It looks so clean, so modern, so beautiful. Tori did tell me that it took her a while to figure out the short rows with going with the stripes. And I told her, you did an excellent job. I fully appreciate it, and I want you all to appreciate it too. Yeah. So this test knit isn't due till the end of November. So I'm sorry, I got really excited. I finished it really ahead of time, so y'all are gonna have to wait for a little bit before you can get your hands on the pattern, but I promise you it'll be worth the wait. It is an excellent pattern. Like, I'm almost done with it. I kind of want to make another one, but just with like 2 colors, and I have a combination in my stash I'm thinking of that is like low contrast 1, 2, so I'm thinking about doing that next. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. Yeah, I'm so excited. All right, my other work in progress that kind of fell to the wayside because it's also not due till mid-December is my test knit for Aimee Sher. I'm not sure if I made a lot of progress since the last time I showed it on here, but it is I think it's called the Weekday Pullover, and I am knitting this in Wool Folk Luft, which looks like this. I will put the fiber details down below because, again, I don't have a ball band on me. I'm very unorganized today. But it's this beautiful kind of bulky weight yarn from Wool Folk, and I really love it. I've knit a cowl in it, I've knit a hat in it. I just love working with it. It is a little bit more expensive the way that Wool Folk kind of is. So my best tip for you, and I'm sharing this with you because Well, because I don't really need more yarn. So if you all could go clear it out, that would probably really work out for me. But there's a local yarn shop in Georgia called Eat, Sleep, Knit. And they have an online storefront. And they used to be the yarn store I bought yarn from all the time. Like before I discovered indie dyers, because they also carry a lot of indie dyers. They also carry Woolfolk. And every Black Friday, they run a sale where from any purchase you make on Black Friday, they will take anywhere from 10% to like, I think 100% off. And it's kind of like by random, you just make a purchase and you discover after you purchase how much percentage discount you got off. The most I've gotten, I think, is 30% off. Yeah, but I bought a sweater quantity of Woolfolk Love. I think I bought like 8 skeins. This is the colorway L9, like a dusty pink. And I bought this, I think, 2 Black Fridays ago, and I think I got 10 or 20% off, which, well, I mean, any discount off of Woolfolk is great. So that is my tip for buying like higher end fibers is if Eat Sleep Knit has it, wait till Black Friday and then make your purchase and you'll get it at a slight, like at least a 10% discount, which is pretty good, right? So I got 8 skeins of these. It's been sitting in my stash waiting for the perfect project. And this pullover pattern by Aimee Sher that I'm testing right now is perfect for it. I don't have much of it done. I'm still working on the yoke, but it is a raglan lace detail. You can see that lace here. Yeah, but you can see the fabric is knitting up beautifully. It's also a very light fabric. It works with light. So it's one of those ones where it's like it's a spun cotton tube and then they like blow the yarn filling into it so that it makes it very light and airy but warm too. And then it has this, it kind of gives it a, what's the word? Like a kind of two-tone, not two-tone, like a slight variation effect because the cotton tube is, you know, mostly white. It doesn't take the dye the same way as the wool. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've got going on right now. And yeah, there's the only whips I've been actively working on because, well, the Henley just completely took over my brain for the past 10 days. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I've got to show you. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. I've got one last whip to show you. I haven't touched it in like a week or two, but I did cast on after the last time I was here on YouTube. So this is I don't know how to say it. It's called a Havendring, I think. It's a Woolfolk pattern and it is knit in boucle yarn. So I got a bunch of boucle yarn from Explore Knits in her National Parks pre-order back in the fall. It's fall right now. Back in the summer. And the Havendring cardigan, it is in tarja and it is seamed. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing to myself. So this is going to be my next long-term project, I think, where I'm slowly work on it throughout the months and I have no deadline for it. But here's what I got so far. So this is the back piece of the cardigan. And you can see it's just 2 colors going up. So this is Chinley from Explore Knits and this is Fur. And to be honest, boucle works up so nicely in tarja just because of the way the fibers are. They fill in the gaps really nicely, so let's make this straight line here and there's no like gapping of the seam or anything. It looks super nice. Yeah, so I'm just gonna be working on this forever because this panel needs to be 13 inches before I do any sort of shaping for like armholes and stuff. The other colors I'm using that will be incorporated in are also timber and linen. So this is the color palette. Let me show you. There you go. Yeah. So it's a very like fall, winter, moody color. It's going to be an oversized cardigan. It'll be perfect for just coziness and all that stuff. Yeah, that's all I'm really into these days. Yeah. And speaking of coziness, I want to give an update. So I showed off this Miles shirt jacket back in the summer that I'd finished during the summer. And I'd spoken then about how I wanted it to be a layering piece, especially in the fall and the winter when I'm walking my kids to the bus stop, just like a layer to throw on over all my clothes. And I'm telling you right now, it has worked out to be exactly what I want it to be. And I'm so happy. So Miles shirt jacket, if you didn't see it back then, it's got this huge folded over collar. It's got this beautiful detailing along the shoulder here and a drop shoulder. And it's got a curved hem, which I'll put on and show you. So it is very oversized. I think it comes with, it's written to have like I think over 10 inches of ease, of positive ease. I knit the size small, which I believe gave me like at least 10 inches of positive ease, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I did have someone on Instagram ask me like, oh, like I don't want it to be quite so oversized. And the answer to that is just pick a size that gives you less ease then. You don't have to, you know, designers and how they write their patterns and their recommended ease, it's just that, it's recommended. You know, you don't have to, you know, if you don't want something to be 10 inches of positive ease, you don't have to knit it to 10 inches of positive ease. You can pick a smaller size and choose the ease that you want. Yeah, so here it is on. You can see I'm wearing my worsted weight, you know, sweater underneath, and it fits perfectly. Like the sleeves are not bunchy, they fit perfectly. Yeah. Plenty of room, and look at that hem. Look at that beautiful curved hem. Yeah. So yeah, it's worked out perfectly, and I'm really happy. And I really want another one. So the yarn I used for this one was Gilead from Durham Natura, and I buy it from Shoplo Mercery online. And it's actually written for Aran weight, and Gilead is more of a worsted weight. When I swatched it, I liked the fabric that I came up with, and it was fine. But I think that for my next one, I'm going to use Serrano, which is the Aran weight version of Gilead from Durham Natura. And I'm going to use Serrano to just get like a denser and a, like, I mean, this fabric is fine, but when it's really windy, I can feel the wind kind of go through it a little bit, just because I think the fabric is still a little bit more airy. Like you can see there, you can still kind of see through the fabric a little bit. So I think if I use the Aran weight, like recommended, it'll make it a little bit thicker, a little bit more impenetrable to the wind, which will be great for when it gets even colder. Because these days in the morning, it's like 49, 50 degrees, so it's chilly, but it's not like super cold yet. Yeah, so I want another one. I've been living in this. I've been wearing it every day. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah. And I forgot to say, this is by Ozetta. Ozetta. All Ozetta here. Okay. All right. So that's all I've got for you today. I haven't been doing any spinning because I've been frantically working on my Rhinebeck sweaters. And yeah, that's all I've got. I'm gonna try to do a little vlogging when I'm at Rhinebeck and like just take videos of everything going on. It'll be my first time there, so I imagine I'll probably be a little overwhelmed like I usually am with like crowds and first time experiences, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be great to see a bunch of friends, and to just spend time with them, and it'll be a short little getaway. We're going up on Friday and we'll come back on Sunday. So it'll be really nice, and I'm just really looking forward to it. If you see me at Rhinebeck, so, oh wait, let me just, so I'll be at Wool and Folk on Friday, and then Saturday in the morning until like around 1 p.m. I'll be at Rhinebeck itself, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So if you see me at either, and if you feel comfortable, feel free to say hi. So hopefully I'll see you there if you're going to be there. And otherwise, happy knitting, and I'll see you all when I'm back.